My Future in Leadership by Renee Kerrigan. When I first started this course, I had this vision of the type of leader that I was, and throughout working through the coursework, I've found that wasn't necessarily the case. What kind of leader am I now? I'm new to leadership. I've been in a leadership role for about 3 years. I work with, or have had the opportunity to work with, upper level management who have been leaders for more than 20 years. So I'm fortunate to gain knowledge through their experience. I would consider myself right now to be a peacekeeper. I'm working in an environment where staff morale is at an all-time low, so I'm afraid to use performance correction for fear that staff will ultimately resign. I work in a very busy medical practice that without its support staff would not function. Losing any member of the team at any time could be detrimental. I would have to say as well, I'm very dissatisfied in my current role. There's too many roadblocks to managing the practice. The physician office caters to its physicians, and this unfortunately causes the staff to suffer. What type of leader do I want to be? In reading our text, this paragraph struck me as kind of an all-encompassing message. Jesus was perfect. We're not. But we become complete as we conform ourselves to his image and imitate every aspect of his life. Lead in a manner so that your followers see less of you and more of him. Making changes, where do I start? I'm very happy with the information that I gained from this course, and here are a few places that I will begin to make changes immediately. I'm going to start preparing right now for my next leadership position. I already have a goal. Right now I'm a practice supervisor. Next step for me would be to be a practice manager. And I'm going to continue to honor the leader above me. Although we may not always agree, we need to be a united team. Admit my mistakes when I fall short of expectations. I'm not a person who likes to admit that they're wrong. I will always take responsibility for any errors I make, but I try very hard to make sure I'm not making errors. Set a clear vision, values, and performance expectations. Right now, as I mentioned, staff morale is very low, and I think that a lot of times staff tend to get away with things that they probably shouldn't. So I plan to move forward with a clear vision, values, and performance expectations, and hold myself and my reports responsible for them. Hold other individuals accountable for results. And this is a task that I've struggled with often. I am one of those people who, if the job needs to get done, who better to do it than me? I need to start allowing other people to take some of the work away and hold them accountable for results in the same manner that I hold myself accountable. And lead to serve others, not have others serve me. This is a trait that I follow right now. I don't hold myself as a leader who has everyone at my beck and call. I'm right in the trenches with them, and I wouldn't ask my team to do anything outside of what I would do myself. Key to success: build a solid character. Without these character traits, I would not be a good leader, and these are things I'm going to start focusing on. Be honest. Keep my commitments. Go the extra mile. I will admit going the extra mile right now is a little challenging for me as I'm a little dissatisfied in my current role, but I will make a valiant effort to try to change this behavior. Give straight answers. I think I do pretty well with this. Unfortunately, at times, people have told me I've been maybe a bit too direct. I set pretty clear expectations and give straight answers whenever I possibly can. Practice forgiveness. Everyone needs to remember no one is perfect. People will make mistakes, and once those mistakes happen, we need to forgive them and move on. Building a solid team. This was another part of the text that really hit home for me. You cannot expect to build a great team unless you start with the right people. I hired the wrong folks and tried to teach them to be talented and driven. I learned later that you have to hire people who bring something to the table and who give you something to work with. This phrase really hits home for me because, as I mentioned, where I'm at, staff struggle. So we have a lot of turnover. And at times, it's really easy to hire the person that's sitting in front of you because you have a vacancy to fill and you might not always choose the right candidate. I will make an effort to make sure I'm hiring a candidate that's going to fit into the team and who wants the same results that I do. How will I go about building that team? As I mentioned, take enough time to make the right hiring decision. Not going to let the stress of being shorthanded drive my decisions. Define your organization's reality. This is pretty clear. The corporation that I work for has a clear-cut vision, core values, and performance expectations. I need to make sure that as a leader I'm living by those as well. Create a culture of high accountability. Have a low threshold for excuses. Right now, I accept a lot of excuses every day for the mere fact that I am short-staffed and I can't really afford to lose anybody else. I need to make it a more proven effort that this is not going to be tolerated any longer. Define who is in your inner circle. Choose those who have the most potential. Allow them to help me with the work that needs to be done. Hold them accountable. That last phrase, holding people accountable, is extremely important. Final thoughts to remember. Mark chapter 10, verses 43 through 45. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be the first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and give his life as a ransom for many. I think everyone in a leadership role would go much further if they remembered this. References for my presentation are as follows. Thank you all for going along this journey with me. I have learned a lot from this course and appreciate all of the discussion and feedback I've received from everyone.